Recording in progress.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whoever is here live. For those of you who are here live, I should say, and for those who are catching the replay, welcome. I am so glad that you all are here. This is day 3. I have my microphone on today, so I'm not just sharing and not being heard. Welcome, welcome. Today we are working with unloading the pelvis. I have the normal props, but you don't need anything really explicitly other than a chair. If you have a strap or a scarf or something like that, then you can grab it. A pillow or a heavy blanket, quilt works really well, but none of these things are explicitly needed. We're going to be getting creative with unloading our pelvis today. The best way to unload your pelvis really is to lie down, but we are not going to be getting on the ground. Okay. So we will get out of the chair today. We'll do a little bit standing up. I will provide options for those of you who may be in a wheelchair or we're just getting up is not an option, or if you would rather not, that's fair too. And let's see. Yeah, I think that's everything I need to share here. If you want to put on some soft music, grab a cup of tea or something to drink. I like to light a candle or incense. It really helps my brain, my nervous system, to know that I'm settling into my space. I'm limiting distractions. I'm present with myself during this time. Okay. So if there's anything that you would like to do to kind of tell yourself that you are entering into a practice and a space to fill your cup, right? So you can pour it out. You need to fill your cup first. And just start to slow down your breath wherever you are. Make it a little bit deeper. Let it go. Lovely. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move back to my seat. I'm so glad you are all here, whether you are here live or if you're catching the replay. I'm glad you made it to the party. And I've been ringing my bell to settle in, and I realized as I was rewatching one of the replays that you can't even hear the bell because the microphone is on a noise reduction remover, which is helpful because I do have noisy neighbors and dogs and all sorts of things. You can see I am in a shop building. I live in a tiny house with my husband, if you didn't already know that about me. And so this is my studio. And it is quite warm in here today. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a pretty warm, sunny day. So I did not think about how warm it would be in here when I was planning this. But without chit chat, let's settle into our chair. And if you want to close your eyes, if you're comfortable, and just begin to observe how you're arriving to your practice today. Body scan from head to toe, noticing any sensations, tensions, areas of spaciousness, neutrality, or even areas of pleasure. Our brain usually goes to the places that are uncomfortable or painful. And sometimes we need to find the places that feel good. And remember to be grateful for that. And I don't mean remember to be grateful for that in a way to invalidate pain and discomfort at all. Just trying to, again, be this observer of self, observer of the body, and noticing what's there. Maybe we notice pain or the discomfort. Okay, well, but what else is there? What else is going on? Pain and discomfort are loud and noisy. What's underneath all of that that may not be getting the attention? If you would like to begin to gently rock the pelvis forward, like you're spilling the bowl forward, gently rock it back, feeling of rolling over the sit bones forward and back slowly. And if it's comfortable, you can find those hip walks, leaning over to one side, picking up that sit bone and beginning to walk the hips one by one back or forward, whichever direction you started with. I'm moving back all the way, and I'm going to walk back to a comfortable place. I'm kind of in the middle of my chair. Plant your feet firmly onto the ground if you need to make the ground a little bit higher with a blanket or shoe boxes or phone books if you still get phone books. Begin to rub your hands on your thighs and feel the warmth of your hands as they graze across the tops of your legs. And you sense the air as it sweeps in through the brim of the nostrils. And the warm air as you exhale. Notice any sounds you may hear near or far away. Remembering we're doing our best to leave the inner critic at the door, so we're not judging or criticizing anything. We're just observing as neutrally as we can. On your next inhale, reach the roof of the mouth up towards the sky as you lengthen through the spine, lengthen through the neck. Exhale as you allow your shoulders to melt down away from the ears. Let's go ahead and set our intention today. And before we do so, you can keep your eyes closed. I would like to read a little bit, an excerpt from a book that I'm reading called Flowers in the Dark: Reclaiming Your Power to Heal from Trauma with Mindfulness. Traumatic experiences that we go through are not yours alone. We do not have to curl up in a corner with our pain. The revelations of interbeing can inspire us and empower us to heal ourselves, because we know that when one person heals, that person helps many others in society to heal as well. We are fractal structures of our society. We do not heal in isolation. Our healing is collective. As we think about setting an intention, maybe it is for healing. Whether that healing is for yourself or healing for others, helping others heal, know that when you come and you show up for yourself, for your own healing, you are helping others heal by doing so, by being that example and by being a healed person. Let's seal our intention in with 3 centering breaths. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms up. And exhale, palms come to touch. Draw them down to center 2 more times. One more time. Gentle pause and a bow of the head to honor our intentions. Whether you are here or watching the replay, your intention is valid. Go ahead and blink the eyes open. You can bring your hands to your chest. So we'll start with our breath awareness. Begin to breathe into the chest. Notice where there's constriction, space. Is the breath choppy or smooth? Does one lung breathe in a bit easier than the other? Does one lung feel deeper than the other? Go ahead and bring your hands to your belly. Breathe into your belly, inviting the breath all the way down into the belly and the pelvis. Then you relax the pelvic floor, let it expand. How deep does the breath go? Is the belly inflating? Do you feel like it can go deeper on one side, the right or left side, than the other? Now let's find our rib cage breaths. If you have a strap and that was really helpful for you to wrap it around your low ribs, you can do that, or maybe bring your hands to the low ribs. Big inhale into the hands, expand wide through the rib cage. Exhale, the rib cage cinches back together. Notice if you feel a bit more sensation or movement than you did the day before or the first day. And just find a nice rhythm that feels good with your breath here, focusing on breathing and expanding, widening through the rib cage. Cat-cow is next. Whenever you're ready, hands on your knees. Inhale, draw the palms and elbows back towards the hips. Pull the chest through, lift the chin up. Exhale, arms move away from you, push away from you as you curl and round cat. Inhale. Let the sit bones spread wide and really take note. Inventory. We're going to notice Continue to move at your own pace through this. How it feels, our pelvic floor feels with load today. So we're going to try to remove the load. And what I mean by load is that usually a lot of us are sitting or standing most of the day. And when that's the case, which it is for the majority of us, our organs are being pulled down by gravity, and that adds load, weight onto the pelvic floor, right? Makes sense. And that's its job, is to provide that support. So it's not a bad thing. But when it comes to healing, sometimes we need to give those muscles a break from, it's hard for them to find that relaxation, right? Which we've talked about. A healthy muscle has full range of motion. It can lengthen and it can shorten. It can stretch and it can contract. And if it's really tight and it's holding up these muscle or these organs all day, it might be nice. You might find more sensation or more opening, more relaxation when we reorient ourselves to where gravity can pull the organs away from the pelvic floor. And that's what I mean by unloading the pelvic floor. And you can stop with the cat-cow and let's find our barrel roll. So reaching into cow spine, bumping the rib cage over towards the right, curling back to cat, bump it over towards the left and forward, connect all the pieces and reach all pieces of the pie. Notice how the spine feels. Does it feel sticky anywhere? Notice if this is day 3, does it feel a bit more easeful starting out now that you're kind of adding in a little bit of this movement every day? Begin to circle the other direction. Notice how this side feels. Notice where there's space and constriction in the spine and the body. We're going to add a gentle twist, so go ahead and come back to center. Inhale the arms up, upward salute. Exhale, twist to the right. Arms find their way down. The right arm, maybe it grabs onto the chair behind you or finds a place to land. And I have my left hand on the outside of my right leg, but it can be anywhere that's comfortable along that leg or even on the left leg. Let's try to think about your torso, your sternum, or your breastbone kind of spiraling to point towards the right. And if it feels okay on your neck, look over your back shoulder. Find that rib cage breath. Try to expand through the rib cage. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale. Upward salute on the way back to center. As you come back to center, arms sweep back up. Exhale, twist to the left. Again, the back arm finds a place to land. Right arm finds a place to land. Make sure that spine is nice and long, reaching the roof of the mouth up towards the sky. Rib cage breath here. And notice if you feel tension in the pelvic floor, can you soften and relax? Remembering that we need to relax it before we can contract it. Coming back to center, arms up, spiral back forward. Exhale, hands can come down through center and back to the tops of your legs. Gentle side bends here. Let's start actually with our arms hanging down by our side. And as you inhale, reach the left arms down, the shoulder drops, and the right fingers are just going to graze up the right side. Reach the elbow up if that feels okay. Exhale back to center, both arms hang by your side. Inhale, right arm reaches to the right ground, left arm sweep up, maybe towards the armpit. Exhale, back to center. A couple more each side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. It might help to imagine again this opening up a set of gills, or maybe an accordion in the rib cage opening up as you side bend. One more time this side. And relax. So before we move to unload our pelvic floor, I want us to really make sure that we are nice and relaxed. So let's do a little horse lip breathing, which we did yesterday. And we'll just practice here, visualizing the two diaphragms. Maybe your legs go a bit wider. You can feel that space in the pelvic floor. Inhale deeply down into the belly. Exhale, horse lips. Let's do two more. And just sit for a moment and notice the reverberation of that vibration from the horse lips and the resonance in the body, and how that helps you soften in deep places. So we're going to do this together in a chair, and you'll have the option to do this to stay in the chair or to get out of the chair with us. So you're nice and center, legs out wide, not too wide. Inhale, lean over towards the right. Exhale back to center. Inhale, lean over towards the left. Exhale back to center. This time, as you inhale, lean to the right, pick up your left heel, little calf pump. Back to center. Lean to the left, lift your right heel. Calf pump. Hands can be on thighs. So back and forth. Inhale to lean and lift. Exhale to come back to center and lower. And why I like to add calf pumps, there's a couple of reasons. Our calves are great pumps for lymphatics. And lymph flow is very important for a healthy immune system, healthy muscles, healthy tissues. And there's also a nerve that runs through the bladder and the calf. So if you're having something like incontinence that you're dealing with, this can actually help that. So remember, it's almost like you're doing the pee-pee dance, right? If you have urge incontinence and you feel like it's an emergency, do calf pumps. And maybe that looks like a little dance, you know? So if you'd like to move out of the chair, you can either continue doing those calf pumps. I need to move my hips after that. And we're just going to do the same thing standing. So hips or feet are just a little wider than hips width distance. And at first, just rock the weight side to side into each foot. Inhale to lean. Exhale back to center. Inhale, lean. So you're just shifting the weight from one foot to the center and then to the other foot. And now we'll add in the heel pump. So my weight is in my left foot. I'm going to lift up like I'm lifting up on my tippy toes on the right foot. Exhale back to center. Exhale, leaning over to the right. My weight is in the right foot. I lift high on my left foot. Couple more times. Awesome. Let's go ahead and take some hip circles. I know that felt really good for me. So what you can do is pretend like you put your hands in your back pocket, so you can kind of put them high on your hips here, and just think like barrel rolls, but with the hips. So you can send the hips forward and think about finding this extension, especially when we sit so long. Our hips are always in this angle, right? They're always closed. So this way we open up the hip flexors, the psoas, open it up and just send the hips around in a circle, as little or as big as what feels good. Maybe it starts at a very small circle. And if it feels okay, maybe that circle gets a little bit bigger. And again, if you're sitting around in the chair, move that torso around, stir the pot. Okay, let's switch directions. And notice how this feels. How does this feel for the legs? Does it feel good anywhere? Where does it feel good? Or where are you feeling any sensation? Okay. So next, we are going to find an unloaded position. I'm going to bring my chair to the side just so you can see me from this profile. And I'm going to bring my hands down to the chair. My legs are bent here, okay? You don't have to have straight legs unless you want to, and that feels good. But just be aware of hyperextending through the legs. And if so, then a little micro bend will be beneficial for that. If you're in the chair, I like what we did with this forearms onto thighs or onto a pillow, how we've been doing this spinal work, cat-cow. And if you want to play with unloading the pelvis, do that when you're lying down and do these breath exercises and notice how that feels. So as we are here, let's find a cat-cow here and notice how it feels. Now feel the gravity is pulling now the organs down towards the belly. You might feel that. And now find that cow. You might have to bend the knees. Think about flicking your tailbone up. Can you flick it up? Hands push into the chair. Lift your chin out of your chest, shoulders down and back. As you exhale, tuck and round the tailbone. Push the chair away from you. Pull the chin into the chest. Maybe you feel more space. Maybe you get a little bit more movement in this variation of cat-cow. So just inhale with your own breath back and forth. Inhale, cow, broad across the collarbones. Flick the tailbone up, lift your gaze. Exhale, tuck and round. Push the chair away. And notice the differences. Does the pelvic floor feel different? Spread the sit bones wide on the inhale. Exhale, tuck and around. Visualize those sit bones, layer 2, spreading wide on the inhale. Exhale, release. And find a neutral spine. So the tailbone's reaching back, crown of the head reaching forward. You can have a little bend in the elbows if you would like. And begin to walk the feet in closer together and turn the heels and toes out. And the heels don't have to touch, but I just want to see if you can notice the difference. In this externally rotated position, our thigh bones are rolling out, our sit bones roll in. So we have a collapsed pelvic floor in this position. Okay, so find a cow spine with this and notice how it feels in the pelvis. Does it feel a little crunchy, a little constricted? Yeah, let's try the opposite. So take the feet out nice and wide, walk them out, maybe heel toe them out. And now toes in, heels out. So kind of pigeon toed, and find a cow spine. Whoa, do you notice the difference? I feel so much more space in my pelvic floor this way. So find a couple of breaths here and think about opening and stretching open. Breathing into the pelvic floor. Awesome. Go ahead and step your feet back underneath you. Hands can come to your hips, bend the knees as you come up. We're just going to take a break for a wrist. So roll the wrist out and maybe kind of, again, rock side to side as we do this. Okay. Go ahead and bring your hands down. Another trick is if you do have blocks, or even the bolster would work for this. You can put your blocks on the seat of the chair and bring your forearms down. This might unload the pelvis even more, because you see how I'm at an angle where my heart is lower than my hips. And so I'm unloading the pelvis even more. But what's also nice is especially if you have arthritis in the hands, is that I'm not bearing weight on my hands. And so it can be more comfortable that way. This is a great place to be if that's available to you. So from here, can we just find like a tail wag? So imagine you have a tail and you're just shifting your hips back and forth, side to side. Okay, you might even feel that hip coming up one side and then up the other. And notice how this feels in your body. For me, this feels really good. And you might notice how little you actually move your hips, right? Hip movement is so important for mobility. And our hip movement has been sexualized in our dominant culture. So we're kind of taught to not move our hips very much. And it's actually very important that we do. So just let this feel good, or notice if it feels sticky, or what you are feeling, okay? It's okay if it doesn't feel good. Okay, go ahead and stop that. And now we're going to think about the same thing, but I'm going to bring my hip over, kind of like I was just wagging, over towards the left, and I'm going to look over my left shoulder. So again, I'm accordioning open, like an accordion is splaying open on my right side, my right rib cage. My right shoulder and right hip are moving away from one another. And then I'm going to come through center. I'm going to look over my right shoulder and reach my right hip over. So it's like I'm trying to look at my right hip. And just do this side to side. Notice where you feel sticky, without judgment, without criticism. We're just noticing. Nice. I really like that one too. And now we're going to find gentle twists. So we've been doing these movements this whole series so far. So they should feel somewhat familiar in our body. If you need to come up for a moment, go ahead and come up. You can move your arms around or move your weight around however you need to. So and now we're just reorienting these movements, right? And trying them in different orientations. And this changes things because, again, it changes gravity. It changes the load on our pelvic floor. It can change our breath. It changes the pressure. So, I'm now using my arms and shoulders, which can help with a little bit of strength in the upper body. I'm on my feet. I'm moving, more blood circulation, possibly. Right, that just depends. So with this next, with our twists here, I'm going to bring my forearms to blocks just because my wrists are getting a little cranky. But you don't have to. You can keep them up. I'm going to have my knees very bent because having them straight feels like a big stretch right now, and that's not what I'm going for this time. So here I'm going to find my breath. And if it feels okay, I'm going to take my left foot. My right leg is bending. So let me find a little corner so you can see. I feel like my black pants are kind of blending in. So my right leg bends, and this helps me open. And maybe I just do this, kind of open up to the left. My left hand can come to my hip. Come back to center. I'm going to bend my left leg and twist open to the other side. And again, these movements might be very small right now, and that's okay. Don't push any further. If your body is telling you that is the limit, then honor that, okay? If you want to keep going and you feel that you have the space, then you can do that back arm stroke, or the forward arm stroke, like you're swimming, bringing it back down. Left arm can sweep back and around. And you just kind of switch side to side here. So left arm, my right leg bends, left arm, big inhale as I spiral open. Maybe my gaze looks up if I feel okay with my balance. Come back to center, and this can be really slow. Bend in the left leg, right arm sweeps up and around. Notice how that feels in your shoulders, how that feels in the back. And you know how to do that in the chair, right? This is the same that we've been doing with our forearms on the thighs. And maybe you would rather do it this way. Maybe this feels better in your body. And in that case, keep doing it this way. Maybe you try that other one another time. So I am curious. How did it feel? You can come back to your seat. How did it feel unloading your pelvis? How did it feel to change gravity and to not have your organs sitting on top? If you were able to unload it and you did the cat and these movements with me, how did that feel? What was the difference? Did you find more movement, more space? And if you were in your chair today, but you want to unload and you want to find this openness again, laying down on your back is also a great unloaded posture. So when you're laying down tonight, maybe you find a few mindful breaths before you fall asleep. And even better is if you can find a pillow underneath your hips to even elevate your hips a little bit, which unloads it even more. I would love to hear how it went. So feel free to email me or reach out however feels available. Great. Let's find our perineum resisted breath. If you want to use no prop, or if you would like to use a strap, hand towel, necktie, or use your hand, go ahead and gather whatever you need for that. The legs are nice and wide. I'm going to continue to use my hands, and I'm going to find my perineum and sit neutrally on top of my hand. And my rib cage is stacked over my hips, so my lungs, everything can breathe properly. Crown is reaching up nice and tall. Inhale, the jellyfish widens and moves down, expanding through the pelvic floor. And exhale, lift. Inhale, moving down, expanding. Can you feel that expansion in the pelvic floor? Exhale, release. Inhale, breathe in. Exhale, release. Let's do this with a resisted breath this time. So inhale into your hand, into your belly. Exhale, pull the belly away from your hand. Pull it in. And now hold it in and resist the breath. Resist the belly inflating on the inhale. One more. Awesome. You can release your hand. Notice, did you feel anything today? It's okay if you didn't. Sometimes these things take time. There can be multiple reasons for this area of our body to kind of be offline, so to speak. And so it just takes consistency and coming back. Let's play with the blueberry breath for a moment and just some pelvic contractions. And if you have female anatomy, the perineum or the center, the blueberry, is going to be more towards the back, towards the tailbone. If you have male anatomy, then it's going to be more towards the center, kind of right behind the scrotum. So as you inhale, imagine those 4 strings, right? We have those 4 connection points of the pelvic floor that make a diamond. And that's the pubic bone, the tailbone, and then we have the 2 sit bones side to side. So imagine you have strings or a rubber band from the front to the back and from side to side. And as you inhale, those strings or rubber bands stretch out and get taut. And as you exhale, if you found the relaxation, then pull all 4 of those strings in towards the center. Notice if your hips are working or your glutes or your abs. And that's very common. These big muscles want to jump in, right? But tell them to relax. Let's do this a few more times. Inhale. Exhale, pull the strings in together. All 4 shorten. Inhale, spread wide. Exhale, squeeze, contract. One more, inhale. Exhale. Awesome. Release, release, release. Let's start winding down and finding a little massage. I don't have my massage balls in here today because I took them into the tiny house last night. Just gently start massaging the jaw, noticing how the jaw feels. A little press in after you find that jaw muscle. Open the jaw wide. Stick the tongue out. Maybe you massage your temples. Maybe you massage your scalp. Maybe begin to massage your neck. And we'll find our little raindrop fingertips, pitter patter on top of the head, and the face. All over, down the neck, the shoulders, the chest, down the arms. Under the armpits, down the sides, other arm. The armpits, down the sides, the belly, the hips, the back. Maybe they turn into fists for the tops of the legs and the sides. Okay, and however you want to, maybe even crossing the legs. Get the calves, the front of the shins, maybe patting the top of the foot. And back up that leg, other leg. Up, arms once again. Other arm, fingertips to the neck. You can be moving slower than me if I'm moving too fast. I did have extra coffee today, so you might notice that I'm moving a little bit faster today. I'm trying to slow myself down. Take a moment, bring your hands to your lap, close your eyes if you're comfortable, and notice what's left over from that pitter patter. You feel the vibration on your skin from circulation. And go ahead and find a comfortable seat. Maybe you scoot all the way back into your chair. And relax the back onto the back. Maybe put that quilt or pillow in your lap. And relax the shoulders. Soften the jaw, soften the muscles around the eyes. Feet firmly planted on the floor. And just feel the sense of support of the chair underneath you, allowing you to melt and soften. Notice how the body feels after the movement that we participated in today. And find at least one thing that you're grateful for about your body. It can be something small, like your breath, or that it houses your beautiful soul. And it moves you around the world. It gets you from place to place. Of course, you don't have to participate in that if you don't feel like it. I'm going to read this quote one last time before our moment of stillness. And I know when you're home, it can be really tempting and easy to skip this part. But this is one of the most important parts of the practice, is finding this moment of stillness and silence. So I really encourage you to pretend that you're in class with me and you're stuck until the end of class and you have to participate in the Shavasana, which, or the final ending pose. The insight of interbeing also taught me that the traumatic experiences I went through are not mine alone. We do not have to curl up in a corner with our pain. The revelations of interbeing can inspire us and empower us to heal ourselves, because we know that when one person heals, that person helps many others in society to heal as well. We are fractal structures of our society. We do not heal in isolation. Our healing is collective. Begin to deepen your inhales and your exhales. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, your wrists, your ankles. Maybe moving your head from side to side. Maybe even a little roll of the head. Bring your hands where you feel connected to yourself. Remember your intention. Remembering that when you make the time to care for yourself, to heal yourself, you're helping the world at large, society, to heal as well. This impacts not just you, but the people around you. You're able to show up as your best self. Bring your hands, palms together. Palms towards the ground, and gratitude towards the earth for its beauty and its bounty. Palms come together up over the head. Gratitude to the great mystery. Palms to the forehead. Gratitude to our ancestors, our lineages, our teachers, all those who have come before us, to the teachings and traditions of yoga that originated out of India. Hands to hearts. Gratitude for ourselves, our bodies, each other, our family and friends and communities. And we'll bow in gratitude to all. Thank you so much for being here and for allowing me to be a part of your journey. Keep up the good work. Feel free to email me or reach out if you have any questions. Bye.